here? 0726. 0726. Well, I only have 10 for now. For any others? Is everyone in? Are we all in? We only have 13, I think. There's more than 13. As soon as you're admitted, go to C14. Okay, let's start. Let me check first if we have some students online. And also try to check your laptops. Mute them. Let me see if we have online. Can I ask 0726 for you? 0726. 0726 Floyd. Is 0726 Floyd around? Or is not around? 0726 Floyd. Is Floyd here? He's not here, right? Floyd. Floyd. I think it's. Okay, 0726 Floyd. Are you online? Are you online right now? I don't hear you. Try to fix your mic. This boy is your friend, right? Boy. Okay, all right, so let's begin. So everyone, this afternoon we will have vocabulary. So some of you may already have had this in the past. So this is going to be our time to review on what we've learned so far about vocabulary. So I'll be sharing my screen. Tranmo HD. Is Tranmo here? Tranmo HD. Koi 0726. Okay, so who else are online? I think we don't have any other online students. Okay, all right. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be focusing on vocabulary this afternoon, all right? So when you say vocabulary, so we always use vocabulary when it comes to learning a language, all right? So pay attention, everyone, especially those who lack vocabs. Okay, so let's wait for others to be prepared to listen. And also a reminder, since we're doing lecture, I need you to prepare your notes. I don't see anyone taking notes. Where are your notes, guys? Especially beginners. We're supposed to take notes. You have to cover everything, right? For those who are late, be fast, be quick, settle down. Do not wait for me to tell you where to sit. Okay, are we ready, folks, to listen? You've been talking there for things. Are you ready to listen? Where are your notes? Get everyone. Where are your notes? Especially beginners. You keep on saying we don't know vocabulary. Of course. Don't take notes. Okay. Is everyone ready to listen? Are we good? Okay, I don't want to stop in the middle of my lecture just because you're talking in your seats. Pay some respect, the way I respect you. Okay, all right. So as I mentioned earlier, some of you may have already had this lecture before. So many of you are still struggling when it comes to vocabulary. So this is true since we are non-native speakers, and especially that all of you will be taking academic IELTS. So when you say academic IELTS, there are actually two types of IELTS. We have academic and general training. So when you say academic IELTS, they test or the type of question are for academic purposes. So meaning to say, the vocabulary that are used in your 4 sub-tests, or in, I would say at least 3 of your sub-tests, would mostly be of academic context. So meaning to say the words that you may encounter are more advanced. And most of them may actually be your first time to encounter them, especially when it comes to the reading test. So for the reading examination, you will be given 3 long passages, and they are of academic context. So meaning to say most of the words, or some of the words, I would say would be something that you see for the first time. Unfortunately, your examiner will not tell you what those words mean. So that is why you have to know at least how to uncover or how to fix the reading. All right? So for you to be able to at least understand the word partially, so what we do is to understand the words that you encounter, difficult words, through context. Okay, so when you say context, what is context? What's up, that? Not in black. Again, words and sentences Surround. Okay, so there you go. So it doesn't mean to say that if you encounter a word, an English word that you don't understand, then you will just have to let them be. Okay, so what if that word is an important word for you to understand the question? Okay, so this is why you have to apply context. So you do not solely try your best to understand that word only. Instead, you find clues from other words and phrases that are related to that. Okay, so that is something that we're going to learn today. So for example, let's have someone read the first sentence. Let's have look at the back. Can you read the first sentence? Okay, so the word candor. So I bet many of you do not really understand what candor is. Or perhaps this is your first time hearing this word. So let's say that this is a word that is important for you to understand the meaning of the entire sentence and for you to be able to answer the question. What would you do? Okay, so again, do not only focus on this word alone. So you can try to understand or uncover the word by looking for clues in the sentence. Okay, so when it comes to context, we can actually apply 4 types. So when you say 4 types, so these are the 4. So the first one, let's have Lynn. Can you read the first one, please? Okay, restatement. So from the word re, what do you mean by re? Re is a prefix, it has its own meaning. So if a word starts with re, what does re mean? Let's have Kat. What does re mean? Not re. Re. The prefix re. If you happen to see the word that starts with a syllable re, what does re mean? For example, rewrite, reread. Re means repeat or it means again. Okay, so from the name itself, restatement, so we need to say the statement may be expressed in a different way. So there are some statements in the reading examination wherein the word is restated, okay, by using a synonym. So this is one way for us to uncover a meaning of an advanced or a challenging word. So another way for us to understand the meaning of the word is to check whether it means positive or negative. Okay? So for example, in terms of, I think you're already familiar with this word, right? Synonyms. So when we answer the reading examination and the rest of the IELTS test, we always use synonyms. So synonyms are words that have the same meaning or similar in meaning. However, you have to be very careful when it comes to synonyms because they also have either positive or negative meaning. Okay? For example, the word slim. What are the synonyms for the word slim? Who can give me a meaning or a word that has the same meaning with the word slim? Let's have over here. Okay, go. Can you think of a word that has the same meaning with the word slim? Slim, another word for the word slim. Yes. Thin, very good. Anything else? Slim, thin, or let's just say slim and then thin. So these are synonymous, meaning to say they have similar or exactly the same in meaning. However, they have or they can mean something different. Okay? So when you say slim, slim actually has a positive meaning. But if someone calls you thin, it's actually derogatory. So it's negative. It has a negative context. Okay? So this is why when you understand or if you are trying to uncover or fix the meaning of a word, one way for you to determine partially its meaning is to check whether it's used positively or negatively in a sentence. That's one point. Number 3. Yes, number 3. Read number 3. Contrast. Okay, so what do you mean by contrast, boy? What is another word for the word contrast? Contrast. Contrast means? What do you mean by contrast? What about Brienne? What do you mean by contrast? Contrast means? No. Okay, read. What do you mean by contrast? Opposite. Okay, so let's say that there's a word that you did not understand. However, you can see a word that has the contrast meaning of that word. So for you to be able to determine the meaning, so you can also use its contrasting information. All right. So the last one, number 4, let's have name in green. Okay, so when you say specific detail, it basically means examples. So there are also words that you may not understand the meaning. However, you see examples of those words in the sentence. Okay? So meaning to say, you have to identify the meaning just by looking at the examples. Alright? So even if there are no, or if you cannot determine whether it's positive or negative, or it has a contrasting word. So if you are given specific details of the word, then you can also uncover its meaning by identifying the details. Okay. Alright, so the first one, so let's talk about restatement. So what is restatement? Let's have Long. Can you read what's restatement? What is restatement? Make your voice louder, I don't hear you. Long. I said you read. That's why you have to listen instead of talking to each other. Okay, all right. So when you say again, the word restatement, it means again. So the sentence or the phrase is mentioned again. All right. For example, let's have the first sentence. Let's have over here. Okay, Ken, can you read the first sentence? Yeah. The basketball coach, the teams. How do you read this? How do you read this word? Or, okay? Steroids. Okay, all right. So we have the word duplicity. Okay? So what does duplicity mean? Who can tell me what duplicity means? Koi. What does duplicity mean? I told you to keep quiet, right? What do you keep on talking to? So what's duplicity? Okay. So if you're confident in talking to your seatmates, okay, then rather explain. I'll give you the chance to talk. So what does duplicity mean? Who can tell me what duplicity is? Mom, can you tell me what duplicity means? Yes, what's duplicity? I'm giving you the chance to talk. This is your best way to talk. What's duplicity? Anyone? Yes. What's duplicity? Being dishonest. Okay, so how can you tell it's being dishonest? Okay, so you see the word or. So if you happen to see the word or, what does or mean? When do we usually use or? Sorry. Equal meaning, okay. All right, who else? Any others? What do you mean by deceit? From the word deceit. Deceit. What do you mean by deceit? Deceit, deceive. Take note of this. This is very common in IELTS. Who can tell me? So deceit, deceive. What does that mean? What do those words mean? What's a B in black? Is it being truthful? So when you deceive someone, what do you do? When you deceive someone, what do? You cheat. Okay, so there. So cheating, deceiving, being deceitful, it means that you are cheating. You're not playing by the rule. Alright? So there you go. So when you say this, if you happen to see the sentence, duplicity in this sentence basically means that the players cheated. Alright? So they were punished because they cheated, did not play by the rule. Okay? So even if we do not know the meaning of duplicity, we can actually say, or we can actually tell what its meaning is through checking other words in the sentence. Okay? Alright, next one. Alright, so let's have another person read. Let's have one. You read the next one. Okay, so slender. Do you see a word that has the same meaning with the word slender? Another meaning, another word with the same meaning. Slender. Slender. Okay, done. Okay, so thin or thin. Okay, so there. So this is what we call restatement. So in the reading examination, when you happen to encounter a word that we do not know the meaning of, try to check the rest of the sentence because there could be a possibility that there would be a word with the same meaning of the word in question. Alright? Next one. So let's talk about positive and negative connotations. So I mentioned this earlier. So even if some sentences or some words have or are synonymous, they can either also have positive or negative meaning. Okay? So for example, okay, let's have someone read the sentence. Let's have Han, can you read this? Okay, so the word haberdashery. Okay, so who knows what a haberdashery is? What is a haberdashery? Let's have two. What is a haberdashery? Haberdashery. What is a haberdashery? Is it a person? Is it something to be? Is it a place? So what's a haberdashery? Okay, I'll give you time. I need you to read the rest of the statement and then let me know what is a haberdashery. Okay, let's have that in white. What is a haberdashery? It's there. Read. You haven't read. Again, read the statement. Follow instructions. Do not say no right away. Okay, so what is a haberdashery? sa shoes, shops. Okay, so shopping for guys suits. So we need to say it's a shop that most likely sells suits or clothing. Okay, so definitely, even if we do not know what haberdashery means 100%, so then this already gives us an idea as to what this is. So it's a type of place that someone can shop. So things such as suits. Okay, so positive, is this something positive? Yes. Favorite, so it's something nice, something positive. All right, questions? Do we have any questions? Okay. All right, next one, contrast. So we can also tell the meaning of a word if it has, or if within the sentence or the next sentences, we have words that are a contrast to their meaning. Okay? So one way for you to know that there is a word that is in contrast to the word in question are the following. So if you happen to see these words in your sentences, so they basically mean that two words are contrasting or opposites. Okay? So normally we use this if it's writing task 2. So in some cases in writing task 2, you're asked to contrast two opposite viewpoints. So we can use these to contrast, right? Okay, so for example, let's have someone read the first sentence. Let's have me in red. Can you read this? Okay, so the word lit. Okay, so do you think lit is positive or negative? Okay, what about clumsy and awkward? Is this positive or negative? Clumsy, awkward. So what's clumsy? If someone is clumsy, what usually happens to someone who's clumsy? Let's have Joe. When someone is clumsy, or if you're clumsy, what usually happens to you? Yes? Anyone? Yes? What? I'm sorry. For a finger? There's no such word. Maybe a pronunciation. Okay, who else? You can tell me what is someone, or what happens to someone who's clumsy. Anyone? Yes, Paul. What's clumsy? Yeah, what's clumsy? If you're clumsy, then what usually happens to people who are clumsy? Yes? What's your name again? Okay. Okay, always fails to do something, right, but not so. Who else? So if someone is clumsy, that person usually meets accident, easily trips. Okay, so for example, when walking, it might be that that person cannot walk straight, so they would. So there. So that's what we mean by clumsy. Awkward. So always feel uncomfortable. So that's what we mean by being clumsy and awkward. So is lit positive or negative? Positive or negative? Again. Clumsy and awkward, is this positive or negative? Yes. It's negative. So we have the word whereas. So again, when you say whereas, so this is something that shows us contrast. So we need to say, when you say lit, it means that this is positive. Clumsy and awkward are already negative. So if clumsy and awkward means to say that people are someone who's not comfortable or always meets an accident, small accident. So this means that lit means elegant, composed, composed. So this is supposed to be something positive. All right. So another one. Let's have someone read the second sentence. Let's have Hong An. Can you read? Hong An. Hong An. Make your voice louder. Parents. Administrator. Enjoying. Unexpected. Entertaining. Okay, so there. So the word apoplectic. So I bet most of you have not heard this word, right? Now, checking the meaning of a sentence using context. So do you think apoplectic is positive or negative? Positive or negative? Let's have you. Do you think apoplectic is positive or negative? How do we know if it's negative? Remember, we have the word unlike. Unlike means contrast, opposite. Alright? Okay, so unlike the apoplectic parents, what did these parents do? They were shouting at the administrator. So, is this positive or negative? It's negative. Alright? And then it says here, Mr. Wallaby stood still, meaning to say he's calm. He did not do anything, he just watched. So this is something positive or neutral. Okay, so meaning to say apoplectic has a negative meaning. So what do you think is apoplectic? What do you think is the meaning of apoplectic? Okay, tell me. So they were shouting at the administrator. What do you mean? What do you mean of? What do you think is the meaning of apoplectic then? Let's have that in white. Apoplectic. What do you think? It's being rude, okay? Or how come these people are shouting? What could be the reason why they're shouting? Because they're angry, right? So if someone is angry, usually when a person is mad, they shout. Okay, so there. So this means that the parents are mad or extremely mad or angry. Okay? Questions? Clear? No questions on this? Alright. Okay, next one, specific examples. So if you happen to see sentences with these phrases and words, so it basically means that the sentence expresses examples. So if you cannot understand the word, however, they have examples, so you can understand the word just by looking at the context. Alright? For instance, okay, so let's have someone read this. Let's have, let me call someone online. Let's have high-end HD. Is high-end here? High-end HD. Are you high-end? Okay, can you read this? First sentence. Make your voice louder, please. The river. Noxious. Heating agents. Pesticides. Okay, so we have the word such as. Let's say we do not understand the word noxious. But we have examples of noxious materials. So what do you mean by noxious then? Yes, boy. What does noxious mean then? We have an example. Yes, we have an example, boy. So what does noxious mean then? pesticides, cleaning agents. So, yes. What are they? Make your voice louder. They are. Yes. Okay, Fong? We have the word noxious. Cleaning agents, pesticides. So what do you mean by noxious? Very simple, very easy. Toxic or, very good, or poisonous. Okay, they're harmful. Harmful substances. Okay, so there. Next one. Let's have someone read the next sentence. Let's have Tranmo. Where's Tranmo? Tranmo H. Can you read the next one, please? When going. You have your laptop, right? You can read from there. Make your voice louder. Read the entire sentence. When okay, so when you say decorum, so what's decorum? We have examples of the word decorum. So we have here 4 examples. So these are examples of best decorum. So what does decorum mean? You have to dress your best, drink and eat moderately, thank the host before you leave. So those are examples of best decorum. So what is decorum? Then, manners could be. What else? Manners. Yes, what else? Decorum. Behavior. So this one. Okay, so we have the word example here. It basically means that these are examples of best decorum. These are good behavior. Okay, so decorum means behavior. How should you behave? So there. Okay, so even if this is your first time encountering the word, so you can always tell what is the meaning because there are examples given. So in your examination in the reading test, pay attention to these details so that it will help you understand words that you encounter for the first time. Okay? Unfortunately, you cannot ask your examiner what a word means. So that's not allowed in the IELTS examination. So you have to do your best to identify their meaning by looking at the, let's say, or by checking some other clues in your sentences and phrases. Okay, going back to this question. So who can tell me what candor means? What's up, Piet? Yes, Piet? Sorry? Letter? Letter A, B, C, D, or E? Letter C, readiness to judge or criticize. Are you sure? So what type of context can we use? So we can use positive or negative. We have the word but, so we need to say we can use the word contrast. Too honest. So when you say too honest, so this is our honest is our restatement. So what does candor mean then? What's up, Can? What do you think is the meaning of candor? Okay, we can tell. We can answer. Let's have what does candor mean? A, B, C, D, E. Being honest, but sometimes too honest. So honest, so candor means the same as the word honest. So what is the correct answer? A, B, C, D, E. That. Letter D. Again, it means letter Letter B. Sincere, sincere, honest. Okay? Questions? No questions on this? All right. Okay, next one. So let's talk about prefixes and suffixes. So when you say prefixes and suffixes, so these are syllables that we add before or after a word. Okay? So normally we use prefixes to talk about whether a word is either positive or negative. For example, the word polite. So if you're going to write M here, so M here is what we call a prefix. So when you say M actually means not. So when you say impolite, it means not polite. Okay? So another example of a prefix is the prefix re. Re means again. So if we say rewrite, so what does rewrite mean? Again. Rewrite, what does it mean? Again. Re means again, so rewrite means you have to write again. So rewrite means write again. So there. Okay? Another example. What do you mean by sub? Like in the word submarine. What is a submarine? You can tell me what is a submarine. Let's have that in mind. What's a submarine? Okay, so it's actually a type of ship that is or that operates underwater. So when you say submarine, sub actually means under. Okay, so those are what we call prefixes. So there are certain meanings of prefixes, but normally they would ask or they would tell us if a sentence is either positive or a word is either positive or negative. So next one, suffixes. So usually suffixes are syllables that tells us what type of word is a word. For example, the word, let's say, unify. Who can tell me what unify is? What type of word is unify? Let's have here. Okay, Can you tell us what kind of word is unify? What's unify? Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb? The word unify. Yes? Okay, look now. So what's unify? What type of word is unify? Let's have B in black. What kind of word is unify? Okay, very good. So unify is actually a verb. Okay? So usually words that end in FY, they are verbs. Another example, identify. This is also a verb. Beautify. It's also a verb. Okay? So any word, or usually words that end with phi, so phi is what we call a suffix. So it tells us what type of word is it. Okay? Another example, ION. Words that end in ION, for example, evaporation. In task 1 writing, we encountered this word, right? Evaporation. What's evaporation again? You can still remember our task 1 writing process. Let's have, okay, let's have Yo. Can you still remember what evaporation is? In task 1 writing? So evaporation is one of the main stages in water cycle, right? So what is evaporation? What's evaporation again? Not remember? What's evaporation again? evaporation is the process wherein water becomes gas, not smoke. Water becomes gas, okay? So evaporation is actually a name of a process. It is a process wherein water is converted to gas through heat, okay? So word that ends with ION, so these words are usually nouns, okay? So can you give me another example of words that end with ION? Evaporation, what else? Yeah. Another word that ends with ION. Words that end with ION. Question, okay, what else? But question is not, or question is as an entire word. It doesn't have the suffix. So, production, right? Production. What else? Organization. All right, so all those words are basically nouns. So those are, well, let's say, that is the purpose of suffixes. So they tell us what type of words. Okay? Questions? Do you have any questions? No questions? All right. Okay, so to give you an example, let me have someone read this sentence. Let's have Anne, can you read this? Okay, so the word, the prefix poly. So if you happen to see the word poly, poly actually means many. Okay, so considering that poly means many, what poly was what is a polyglot? Anyone? Okay, let's have Antoine. What is a polyglot? Poly means many. So what is a polyglot? Yes. What is a polyglot? Let's have. What's a polyglot? A, B, C, D, E. Again, poly means many. Helen. What letter? A polyglot is? Yes. Letter? A, B, C, D, E, yes, good. Yes. Letter? Letter D. So can you read letter D? Okay, so there you go. So the correct answer is letter D. Someone who speaks many languages. So even if you do not know what polyglot is, considering that the word poly or the syllable poly means many, so basically the correct answer is letter D. Alright? Okay, next one. Alright, so let's have someone read. Let's have Ken read this. Okay, so malign. So when you say malign, mal means bad. So if you happen to see a word that has the word mal, mal actually means bad. Okay, so what does malign mean? A, B, C, D, or E? Who can tell me what malign is? Yes, boy? A, B, C, D, E? Yes. Count. A, B, C, D, E? Yes. Mal, again, when you say mal, mal means bad. Okay, Corey. Mal. Anyone? Very easy. What's up, B? B in black, sorry. Yes. Letter? Okay, so it's letter B. To speak badly or bad. Questions? Ken, do you have a question? Any questions? Okay, all right. So next one, let's talk about suffixes. All right, so I need you to take note of the following. If you can take a photo. Alright, so these are suffixes that means words are nouns. Okay, so if a word ends with ans, ion, and ism, those are nouns. Again, take note or take a photo. We actually don't have much time or enough time to go through them one by one. So take a photo. Another one is or sis. So if you happen to see a word ending with sis, so that word means it's a type of process. So IST usually refers to people. For example, dentist, violinist, environmentalist, has something to do with someone's job. Alright, adjective suffixes. So if you happen to see these words, so those words are normally adjectives. Okay? So it. Alright. Ish. Childish, foolish. So those are examples of adjectives. Also an or in, so same as with ist, so they usually are people. People, and then what type of word they're related to. Okay, next one, verb suffixes. So if you happen to see these, so those words are action words or verbs. Okay, so there you go. So again, when it comes to vocabulary, so you can use these, or you can apply these. So you can apply context and also prefixes and suffixes for you to at least partially understand the meaning of a word in a sentence. So remember, your vocabulary is tested when it comes to IELTS. So the more that you understand words, so the easier that you answer questions. And of course, unfortunately, we do not really know exactly all of the words that we have in your examination. So it would be best that you know how to fix their meaning at least. Okay? Questions? Do we have questions? No questions? All right. Okay, so let's try to answer these. So what I need you to do is to take note or fill out you will have to use the correct prefixes. So you have to understand the meaning of the sentence for you to identify the correct prefixes. So you can get a sheet of paper, or if not, you can open a notepad app. I need you to answer this 1 to 10. Okay, answer 1 to 10. Read the sentences. For example, number 1, my desk is blank tidy. I need to clean it up. So the word tidy. So what can you add, or what prefix can you add to the word tidy? Who can tell me what is the correct prefix? Does have Lynn? It means I need to clean it up. So we need to say his desk is dirty. So what is a word that has the same meaning with dirty? Yes, Lynn. What prefix should we add to the word tidy? Tidy means clean. Well organized, well arranged. That's what it means by tidy. So what should be the prefix? It's no idea. It should be untidy. So there. Okay? So I need you to answer the rest. Answer questions 2 to 10. Please do not use Google Translate. Do not Google answers. I need to check how far your vocabs are. So it's 2:59 I'll be giving everyone 5 minutes. Start. Again, answer questions 2 to 10. You just have to choose the correct prefix. So when you say prefix again, they're added in a word. For example, tidy, untidy. Write your answer in your notebook or in a sheet of paper. If not, you can write it in your notepad. The answer? How to answer, guys. Do not wait for me to call your names. Are you answering, Boy? Why would you mind other people? Mind yourself. Again, guys, mind your own self. If you have questions, ask me. Do not ask your neighbors. Are you done yet? Everyone's answering. Are we good? Mom, are you done, Mom? Are you done? There's nothing funny, guys. Whatever you're doing there, it's not funny. Especially you boys. Are you intentionally getting my attention? Mind your manners, guys. We're not here to play, remember that. If you want to play, then go home. I'll be happier if you go home instead of playing here with each other. You're distracting my class. You're distracting me. Not here to play. You don't have to send your answers in the chat. I will call you randomly. Just prepare your answers. Okay, it's already done. Time's done. Okay, number 2. Let's have me at point blue. Number 2 was the correct answer. Okay, so it's unfair. Next one. Call someone. Call another person. Call someone. Call another person. Number 3. Okay, Tamara, number 3. I don't think she will be blank elected for another term, yes? Okay, re-elected, elected again. Okay, call another person. Call another one. Cool. Leanne, number 4. What's the correct answer? Yes. Polite. What should we add with the word polite? It's considered impolite. So it's impolite to ask someone's salary. Okay, another person. Okay, Kat, number 5. Okay, sorry, it's unemployed. Very good. Next one, call another person. Okay, Ken, number 6. I did not like the meat. It was blank cook. Your answer? Not another person's answer. Sorry. Undercooked. Okay, so undercooked or who else? We can also use it's overcooked. Also fine. So either undercooked or overcooked. Okay, call another person. Okay, that in class. Number 7. I'm sorry? Okay, so impartial. Okay, next one, number 8. Call another person. Okay, Fong, number 8. Unregular, not your name. Is it unregular? Blank verbs. Who was another answer? Is it unregular? Yes, anyone? Weak in what? Irregular. Irregular verbs. Okay. Next one, call someone. Call another person. Okay, wait. Number 9. Okay, so Janet is totally unreliable. Okay. Next one. Last one. Cool. Okay, full hand. Number 10. Yes. What's the correct? He always acts in an correct prefix. What do we add with responsible? When he loses his temper. Irresponsible. So there you go. Okay. So look at your answers. Did anyone get 9? Who got 9? Okay, so I need you to use your Zoom. Raise your hand, those who got 9. 9 out of 9. Who got 9? You can raise your hand in Zoom. Check your work. No one? Okay, who got 5? 5 and above. 5 and up. Raise your hand in Zoom. Raise your hand or thumbs up. Okay, so we have so we only have 8 people. Only 8. Again, 5 and up. Okay, so we have 9 people. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so next one. So let's talk about Latin roots, okay? So in some cases, or let's say English words, it doesn't mean that they are English when it comes to origin. So in some cases, some of the words in English are from Latin roots, okay? Alright, so again, we can take a photo. So if you happen to see words that have these suffixes, so said, seed, says, it actually means either to go or to stop. Okay? For example, when someone concedes, it means to say to yield, to stop, or to surrender. Cessation, cease, it means also to stop or to bring to an end. Alright? Again, you can take a photo or take a screenshot. So exceed means to say to go beyond, to extend beyond. So these are from Latin roots. Okay, next one. Clap means to please. I will not go over each word per word because we don't have enough time. But you may encounter these words in academic reading. Okay, next one. So if you happen to see a word that has VOC or VOK, it actually means to call. So that's why voice, vocal, it has something to do with calling or to speak. So this is also another word from Latin roots. Law, it means speech. So for example, dialogue. So when you say dialogue, it means a conversation between two or more people. So dict also means to tell. For example, dictate, predict. So pre means to tell ahead, dict means to tell. So to foretell. So predict. So that also comes from Latin roots. Next one, take a photo. So vi, if you happen to see a word with vi, for example, vital. Okay, so it actually means life. Vigor, vigorous. Okay, next. Bell. So it actually means war. Rebel. Am also means love. For example, amorous, enamored. Enamored means captivated, inspired by love. Next. So a word, let's say sci. Sci means to know. For example, science. So science is a branch of knowledge through systematic study. Conscious. Meaning to say, if you're conscious, you know what's going on. So psi needs to know. Verb. If you happen to see a word with a suffix or with a prefix verb, it actually means true. Actual. So verdict. So when you say verdict, so what's the finding of a trial? Verify. So when you say verify, to confirm, to check whether if it's true or not. Again, take a photo. Okay, next one. So you are familiar with this? If you happen to see a word that has mag, match, or max, they actually mean big. So major, maximum. So those are of Latin roots. Magnify, to make something or to increase in size. Okay, next one, equi. It means equal or even. Then take note or at least take a screenshot. This will come in handy. Next one, culp. Culp means to blame. So from the word culp, so if you happen to see the word culprit, so culprit means the person that's guilty. He's the culprit. Okay, last one. So if you happen to see a word that starts with error, it actually means to wonder or to make a mistake. For example, error, erroneous. Ferv means to boil. Man, it means hand. So from the word, for example, the word manual. So it means that something is made by hand. Task 1 writing. How is the process done? Manual. Manufacture. So man actually is from Latin. It means hand. Made by hand. Handmade. There. Questions? Do we have any questions? No questions so far? Okay, all right. So since there are no more questions, so I need everyone to keep their phones now. Keep your phones. No phone should be on your desk. Phone. Again, keep your phones. We will have a quiz. Everyone, keep your phones down. Okay, so I will be sending you a form. I need you to write, or I need to key in your answers on the form. Okay, so you will not use a pen, pencil. You don't have to type your answers. You have to key in your answers in the form. Okay, so I'll give you enough time to finish everything. After that, I will give you, or I will show you your score. Okay, let me ask someone if you can open the link. Here you go. What's up, Dan? Can you go to the chat and open? Is it there? Okay, so everyone, answer. You don't have to copy the questions. You just key in your answer right away on the form. Follow instructions. Please do not open Google, okay? Only open the form, not Google answers. Again, guys, you're not supposed to use your phone, nor open another site. This is vocabulary test, vocabulary, meaning to say you're not allowed to check vocabulary in the dictionary. Yes.